allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our planning commissioners, grant them courage and wisdom to do what is right for all citizens. Amen. So Dennis, with our new recording secretary starting today, are you able to do roll call? Okay, great.
Nick?
Present.
Bonnie?
Present.
Kevin?
Here.
Andrea?
Here.
Dennis? Here. Brian?
Here.
Tracy?
Here.
Thank you. Okay, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the December 11, 2024 meeting? If so, I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. December 11, 2024, regular meeting draft 1.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Our correspondence, it looks like we have Michigan Association of Planning, Planning and Zoning Essentials Training Workshop, which is going to be for 2025. And always, our board always encourages any type of training to keep us updated on all new laws and issues going on in the planning community. Okay.
Just to reiterate, it's actually required in our bylaws for every
Yes.
member to attend one session.
One
Per
training
calendar.
per year. Yes. Okay.
Minimum of one training per year.
Minimum. So public comment, there is no one from the public in attendance. Any late agenda items? Okay, we'll start off with introduction. Our newest planning commissioner, Miss Bonnie Kraus, welcome aboard. If you would like to take a moment and just give a little, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Okay, I get to do this again. Currently, I'm employed by Washington Township. I've been in their Department of Public Works for about 18 years. I was on this planning commission for about 10 years and then was no longer appointed. So I'm grateful to be back. Enjoy planning and zoning very much. I was the planning and zoning administrator in Armada Township. Worked in projects for a long time in the DPW at Washington. So pretty well versed in how it rolls. So just have to get back to the Almont Township ordinances and the way of doing things. So it'll take me a little bit, but I'll get there.
Thank you
Good to
so
be
much.
here.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right. And then addition, we have a new recording secretary, Michelle Balint, if I pronounced that correctly. All right. Thank you very much for taking the position. And if you'd like to tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, I just moved to Almont last year from Sterling Heights. Myself and my husband are empty nesters, so we're taking advantage of the quiet and a lot of extra space. I work full-time for General Motors. Employee benefits are my passion. So I've spent more than 30 years in the field of employee benefit administration.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming aboard and helping us out.
Thank you.
Are you retired now?
I'm not.
So you
I'm
driving
still
back down to the tech center?
How about the Renson?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move right on into elections. So our first election will be for chair for the 2025 year. And do we have any nominations?
I'd move to nominate Kevin Villalanuga for the chair of the planning commission.
Support? Support? Any other nominations? Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussions? Kevin, are you willing to accept
I accept the nomination.
Excellent. All in favor?
Valalunga.
Valalunga. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Excellent, Kevin. All right. Our next position is vice chair. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I would like to nominate Nick for vice chair.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Nick, are you agreeable? All right. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Congratulations, Nick. Okay, on to secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary? Is there anyone willing to be the secretary for this year?
I would nominate Brian if he so desires. I think he would be a good fit.
I would support. Brian, are you in agreement?
I agree.
Excellent. Okay. Any other nominations? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Excellent. Motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Okay. And our last is ZBA liaison. Any nominations for ZBA liaison?
Anybody other than Tracy, there's no one else.
I have been the liaison in the past, so I'd be willing to serve.
I've been lit for the last couple of years. I can continue. I don't have a problem.
So we are just going to look for a nomination.
I'll nominate Bonnie Kraus for ZBA liaison.
Okay. And is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other nominations? All right, Bonnie, you have agreed to do that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. And we have Bonnie. All right. Now on to our master plan public hearing. So our public hearing officially is still open, correct? Okay. So what we are doing now is we are going to adopt or resolve or do our resolution of adoption for our master plan, and then we're going to send it up the line to the township board for approval. Is there any discussion?
Close the hearing, right?
Yeah, I want to do
said the
discussion.
same
I was
thing.
thinking discussion first and then close it. Any discussion?
I have something, Madam Chair.
Yes.
On the composite future land use map, which is map 7-1 in your master plan at 7-3. It's nothing major, but it's just the legend doesn't match the map. The legend says that the white is the Almont Township and the white is actually the Almont Village. So if
Okay.
we could adopt that, maybe with the correction being made before it gets to the board.
Where are you at, Bonnie?
7-3 on the page, which is 7-1 composite future land use.
And it's also on 4-4.
It's on the legend. On the map, it says village, but on the legend, it says township.
We're here, Dennis. 73. Yeah, it's
Okay.
3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, there's two spots.
Just,
4-4 also is the same way.
Oh, 4-4?
and it's the existing land use map, map 4-1 on page 4-4. So it's just the legend would need to be changed from Almont Township to Village of Almont to reflect the actual map, which is the village for white.
All right, just a quick clerical fix then. All right, any other concerns? All right,
What happened with, everybody agree on the proposed changes that you made based on that anonymous letter?
I
As far as
believe
I
so.
know,
Is there any other,
everybody-
is there any other further discussion on that? It was,
Alex is, I think, has incorporated
Processed
those
all
into
those
this version.
changes here.
okay.
Yep.
So I reviewed it, and there was just that one about the water being supplied, and I think that got struck. Otherwise, yeah, and I think the anonymous letter will have to go in a file. I'll give that because it's only one copy. And actually, the person that did it was actually pretty thorough.
Yeah, I wasn't knocking it. I just wanted to make sure that it was recorded properly.
So we're going to close the public hearing at 7:10 PM. All right. Any other deliberation? If not, Alex provided us with the resolution of adoption. If anyone would like to make that motion.
Well, there's two here.
Yeah, that's,
I believe they're the same. Are they not the same?
Oh, I printed off a copy too and brought them out. So
Oh, Ida must have printed a copy.
Oh, okay.
Well, they have different, I mean, they're different. They have different, font and so forth. They are the same? I'm not, okay, all right. I'll make a motion to accept the resolution of adoption. Based on today's date, 15 January 2025 at 7:10 PM.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any other discussion?
Madam Chair, may I add, if we
Yes.
can just have one signed copy here when we leave for you guys to keep, and I'll take one with me so that I can scan it into the appendix of the master plan.
Perfect, yes.
Do we need to say with those corrections, or do we don't need to mention that? To the maps.
Are you done with your motion?
Yes.
Yes, and you included with the
Oh,
clerical.
do they need to be,
corrections?
with the clerical corrections that were raised by member Bonnie Kraus?
All right, and Dennis, could we have roll call, please?
Kevin.
Here.
Brian.
Yes.
Yes. Andrea.
Yes.
Tracy.
yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Dennis. Yes.
All right, excellent. We have a master plan. All right, thank you, Alex. That was amazing.
Next
This,
step, it goes up to the township.
Up
We
to
have
the
a we have
township.
a master plan to present to the
To
township.
present.
And I'll provide them with a draft resolution for them to have at their meeting and a new set of prints. I'll send them in the mail. And with those two corrections there, so.
this is excellent. This is excellent work.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, now we're on to the open meetings resolution. I'm just looking for those dates.
So let's be clear on the resolution. The chair on the resolution will be Kevin.
It'll still be me,
It'll still be you.
and then the
Okay.
secretary will be you.
Oh, okay.
And then after,
Through the end of this meeting.
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Okay.
I had one question on the meetings resolution, and it's picky uni, but in the bottom where it says for the hearing impaired and audio tapes of printed, I'm just wondering if it should be recordings, because I don't know that we even produce tapes anymore, and I don't know if anybody's gonna. Okay, just was questioning it.
Okay. So we have all the dates throughout the end of 2025 and the first date of January 14th, 2026.
I vote to approve the 2025 open meetings resolution for the Almont Township Planning Commission.
Support.
It's been moved, and who was the second?
Both Nick and I did it at the same time, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I
so,
heard Nick, but yeah.
okay, so Dennis and Nick, and then could we have roll call, please?
Dennis, yes. Nick. Tracy.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
All right. That was all set. right, new business, Interpower Barrel Chain Charge DC EV Charger Station.
This came up, it was presented last meeting. That Interpower and the president of Interpower wanted to add this to their parking lot. I had gone through the zoning ordinance, and I could not find anything that would really regulate this or give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down other than parking lot regulations. Egress, if it takes up a parking space, would it detract from the amount of parking spaces that they're allowed or they're required to have for the business? Maybe lighting, maybe signage, but there's nothing specific. And being that it's actually an industrial zoned property, there was nothing that says commercially it's not allowed, like a gas station or a service station. But I looked at it 3 times today and said, I better put that in my car. And there it is sitting on the conference table still tonight. So I forgot all of my notes, but that's basically the gist of it. I can't cite specific things because I, again, left my marked copy there.
So as far as the parking goes, every one of these I've ever seen, there's still a space. So I don't think that would deter from minimum or maximum parkings because the charger is usually in the front of the space with a cord that.
Right.
But if someone was parked there all day long, then not using it.
But I think from our perspective though, it's number of spaces, not how long can a car be there.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So
That's
when
the,
you count spaces, to me, it's like if you need 12, it's still 12. One just has a charger.
that's the only thing I could find that could be a,
Right.
maybe, I don't know.
Madam
Alex?
Chair, if I will,
Yes.
I haven't received any correspondence on this. This is the first I heard of it. Just that, 2 things. One is, it's illegal use in the state of Michigan, so you can't really restrict it or say no to it. And second of all, although your current zoning ordinance, and we'll work on that, Dennis, of updating, this should be just treated as an accessory use to an existing parking lot. All it is a 220 conduit that goes to a spot. It goes as part of the parking calculations, and it is what it is. So it's not necessarily a gas station or separate use altogether. It's just an accessory use to an existing building.
That was what I had in my
Yeah.
notes. That's the only thing I could see
Right.
it would be under, and you have to say, yeah, it's, as long as it follows the electrical codes
Yep.
and the
It's more a
building
building
codes
code
and all
thing.
that, it is what it is.
Unless we've got
What-
specific language in the zoning ordinance about it. So.
Now, he does already have 2 chargers there for employee use. This would just be an additional off in an area that's, again, in a non-designated parking spot.
Is he proposing that for public use?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're getting so many electric cars now, people are gonna need somewhere to charge. That is the wave of the future. People are putting charging stations, different businesses.
Some
So
of
it's-
this even falls back to what we've discussed before too about working better. There's really nothing, like you said, in the ordinance. Let them get the electrical permit and
Go for it.
don't over restrict
Yeah.
our businesses like we keep kind of talking about getting away from, trying to find ways to get a little better. This is one of those things where there's nothing in there. Let's not make anything out of it. Get your permits and
Go for it.
put a charger in.
All right.
Is it not anything that we would want even reflected on their site plan, just not necessarily drawn civilly, but maybe just have them update their site plan so that we have it in the file?
I think
We need
I mean, I would just have just a minor site plan amendment. I know your zoning ordinance is kind of not clear on that, but just provide an updated sheet to Ida in the office. She can just put in the file and then have, building department just do their thing. So I wouldn't treat it much more than that, considering the way your zoning ordinance is written and what it is.
And Kevin, you were in contact with them?
Not directly.
Okay,
I'm not, I know him,
okay.
I know the owner, so, but
Okay.
we didn't talk about this item particularly, but,
Do you want to reach back out to him, or do you want to just tell him to come in and speak to the building department, get his electrical permit?
well, I don't remember what the letter specifically said. Does anybody have the
Right
letter?
here. And it's got his contact information on it too. I think it's,
Yeah, that's Eric. He's their electrician. Yeah, I can talk to Eric. That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Yes. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, here it is right here. I'm sorry. I didn't get that far deep in the pile.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. All right, moving on. Okay, old business, proposed renewable energy and energy waste ordinance, solar, wind, battery, and then the formation of a subcommittee. And I know, Dennis, this is your project.
Yeah. Well, I sent out a draft solar energy ordinance draft. I tried to combine the things that Brian put together, focused predominantly on the environmental section you had written. I don't know if I picked up all your stuff, Alex, or not, but it looked to me like the MTA document covered a lot of the comments that you put in red on our current ordinance sheet, the stuff you handed out back in September, October.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I don't know, at the pleasure of the planning commission, how do you want to proceed? My focus was to get one document that we could chop up, mark up, instead of 3 or 4. So I tried to combine what Brian had put together, comments from Alex, and the basis is the MTA draft. What do they call it? Usable? Workable ordinance. And there's questions in there as I went through it. Again, some of the things, and we can, however you want to go about it, line by line. I can take comments from, if anybody's got them marked up, I can try to incorporate those. How much, or we can try another path. I don't care, but this is just what I threw together. Trying to get us focused on one document that we can, like I said, chop it up, eliminate, change, whatever. There's some questions in there. If you go into it, I don't know, and I probably tried to follow the MTA ordinance verbatim as much as I could. The first thing in definitions, I don't know what they're talking about dual use. As far as I'm concerned, that we could strike. The other question that I tried to highlight as I went through this, MTA does not permit a solar energy farm less than 50 megawatts and more than 1,000 acres. So I don't know where we want to go with that. The Millie plan is about 48 megawatts.
Yeah.
It's 364 acres. So I don't understand what the magic number of 50 megawatts is. Alex, do you
So
know?
we talked about this. So 2 things, Anna. So I'll just answer that question right away. So the 50 megawatts is in the state provision of saying if it's above that, they can go stateside. If it's below that, it falls within the local jurisdiction, which is your current zoning ordinance, right?
So should our
So-
ordinance say nothing about the size of the?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why MTA went that route. I mean, the 50 megawatts is just saying that if it's below that, you have to go to local siting, if you're local zoning ordinance. If you're above that, you can go the local route, but you can also then qualify to go to the state route.
So
and
then,
just circumvent the local process.
so we should just strike that it,
So,
Megawatts entirely.
yeah.
Right.
So, and going back to this, I think the best thing would be to, the way I've done these in the past is I would be collecting, working with your comments, Brian's comments, and other folks' comments in that subcommittee, and then drafting up something together for you guys to review. I think that's just the way I prefer this goes, where I would be drafting it and then presenting to you with your comments to include. And then not just, track changes and comments, so you can see what we have, what we're trying to include, the new stuff. And when we're ready, then we can then present it to the planning commission to review. And then that would go to the township board.
Okay.
And so we would have a subcommittee meeting, whether it's, obviously PC board members, PC members, yourself, whoever may also want to be on it, and then potentially township board or ZBA or whoever else wants, or the township supervisor sees fit, and just put this subcommittee together. We could just, have our dates and times, either do a Zoom meeting, just we'll follow the public Open Meetings Act stuff, just publish it. Hey, they're going to meet on, Wednesday at 10 a.m. And here's a Teams link, and I could either be in person, or we could, do it online, and then, and just have more flexibility so that we're not, hamstrung, if you will, by only you can meet once a month and then talk about it endlessly to the, end of the night, where it'd be more flexible, where we could essentially meet, more impromptu as we need, as we develop stuff. So once a week, twice a week, every 3 weeks, whatever it is. So to kind of get this football across the goal line.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do have some questions that, going through this thing. So I agree, eliminate any mention of megawatts. So this draft says no more than 1,000 acres. Is
Yeah,
that,
I mean, the state is like limitless, so I don't know, why they have it.
limit it as a township to 1,000 acres?
My understanding is the MTA did very similar to what state siting required. It didn't deviate very far. It was pretty much, here is how to keep yourself out of trouble. This is the MTA's example, which is similar to the state, so you can have this. And then therefore, you're not going to be accused of really deviating from the state requirements, and therefore allowing the applicant to come through your process so you can at least play ball and see where it goes, and kind of, talk about some of the things in person with the applicant that, Brian's mentioned, and a few of you all have mentioned, other communities have mentioned. So, we're kind of, I hate to say the word, damn if you do, damn if you don't, but if you go too far with it, they can go the state route. At least you have something in place now. So, you can sleep at night knowing that you have something in place that they can come before you, and you can work through these processes and figure it out. And like I've said, I mentioned before, and to those who are new, I've sat across the table with DTE on this already. I know what their game plan is, and how they're going to, or if it's someone else, but what they're looking to do, and what I would recommend to the PC or township supervisor in order to make sure that these things are on the table. There are some things there that DT would probably be willing to concede to.
So right now, if we were to use this document as a start, it states no more than, I don't know how to restrict the acreage. I don't know what a good number is. They say 1,000?
You don't have to have the acreage in there. You
strike
just don't. You don't. You
Okay.
can just,
So strike
we can
that.
strike that out. So we can work on these things and bring it back to the PC
Okay.
and a little bit. And know that there are things in play at the state level right now, with where it's going to go. So there's a lot of things going on. As you know, there's a lawsuit by several counties and dozens upon dozens of townships saying, why are the townships in a different position than the cities and villages? And why are there different rules? So I understand why, but at the same time, why is there? So
Well, I wish I would have covered. I thought I had page numbers on here, but area I wanted to discuss. MTA, I'll read MTAs. A map depicting the proposed facilities, adjacent properties, all structures within participating and adjacent property lines, and all properties within 1,000 feet. Our ordinance requires only 100 feet. I don't see anything wrong with 1,000 feet. I don't know.
I'm just not sure how you can find a property with 1,000-foot setback.
Well, it's not setback, it's the
It's
map
just-
that shows everything within 1,000
Oh,
feet.
yeah, you're requiring that on the site plan. Okay.
On the
I
site
just-
plan.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm
Um,
gonna say that is a ranch,
That's huge.
Montana somewhere.
So I don't know. I don't know if 100 feet's adequate, really, if you're talking about something like this. 1,000 feet seems to be a lot, but I don't know. Anybody else?
Wouldn't, yeah, because 1,000 feet is over, or it's darn near a quarter mile.
It's up, and most likely a 4 directions. It's
Yeah,
regular
that's-
site plan.
That's,
Well, that's just, you're requiring a minimum of saying you need to provide at least a site plan that includes properties within 1,000 feet, so you know what's affected. That doesn't mean that the applicant couldn't provide you, in this case, what I've seen is, the one in Chesaning, which was 19 parcels and 783 acres. I mean, we had hundreds of pages of the site plan, hundreds. And so we had fine grained detail, for each one, so you knew all the different, features. So that is just saying a minimum of saying, if they're going to bring you one sheet of paper, here's what you're looking at. But that, may not be sufficient for whatever they're proposing. It's incumbent on the applicant to demonstrate that they're demonstrating what they're going to do and that you can approve it. So if they're not bringing sufficient site plans, you can just say back, like, we need further details. Like, one of the issues was drainage. I mean, there was like a couple numbers, but there was no way to tell the flow of drainage, which is really important on a site. And that's one of the first things our civil engineers at Rowe, with 35 years experience, are saying, like, this is a strike against, and it got denied for one of those reasons, is that they couldn't tell where drainage was going to be and where it was going to go and how it was going to flood fields in an area that's flood prone. So, those are the deals you can ask them, but that's the state, this MTA saying here is just at least at a bare minimum. If you have nothing, you can put this into your ordinance and at least be able to work with something, right? That's what MTA designed that. I know the person that was part of that hearing who wrote that. So, yeah. So I know his intent.
So basically, Dennis, you're going to form a subcommittee, meet with Alex, and get this ordinance rolling and get it into our.
So I guess if the PC would make a motion, someone wants to make a motion to designate Dennis as the chairperson of that subcommittee, so that he can kind of create, a little platoon of folks that want to join him, work with us.
Okay, I move to make Dennis the chairman of the subcommittee on the solar wind battery ordinance task force.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
So I do have a bunch of stuff, so
Yes.
And you got it marked up, Mike?
I do.
Okay.
So, yeah. So if you want to go through that later, you want to go through it now, I mean,
We can go through it later.
So I prefer we figure that subcommittee, and then Bonnie can share that with me too, because I'd
Right.
love to know these, what you guys are thinking, and
So
share.
make Bonnie part of the subcommittee.
Right, you can come back next meeting and say, hey, here's my subcommittee. I taught this town supervisor, Bonnie, whoever else, and then
Okay.
the PC can say, great, that's your subcommittee, and you guys have an approved subcommittee.
It's got volunteered, Bonnie.
I heard that.
Oh, just making sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, excellent. All right. And we'll move on to the 2024 annual report from Dennis.
I did send that out this afternoon. I thought I had to wait until the board approved, the planning commission approved the December minutes. But I did put general comments in the annual report and sent it out this afternoon, pretty late this afternoon. It's about 20 pages. So as long as the December minutes were approved by the planning commission is good to go.
All right.
So will we get a copy of that
I sent it by email.
to,
I think everybody.
okay,
I don't know if
Yeah.
you were on it yet. Were you on it?
I don't think
Yeah.
I saw, I don't
We'll
think I saw
forward
her
it to
on
you.
there.
We'll
Okay,
forward it
thank
to
you.
Yep.
I'll make sure tonight, everybody got it?
Bonnie still only has personal email, she does not have a township email
I think I used it first.
Okay.
I'd say it's 20 pages, so.
All right. All right, Alex, any further?
Nothing, just, there's obviously MAP has tons of training available. There, a lot of them are remote. I mentioned it last month, so feel free if there's stuff there that you're interested or have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. But there's a lot of great training right now that pertains to planning commission members. So yeah, have at it.
What's the difference between MAP and MTA?
Acronyms, no, I'm kidding. So Michigan Association of Planning, that's professionals like myself. That's our professional organization for planning. So you can be a MAP member. Anybody can. I mean, if you're a PC or a ZBA or township or city council, but professionals like myself have that. It's a chapter of the the American Association of Planning, and Michigan Township Association is the association of members who are townships. So
We are members of the MTA.
right, you're members of that too. So I know some of you get MAP stuff.
Basically, their functions are about the same, though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, they both have member organizations. One is municipal entities. The other is professional
Oh,
or,
okay.
public, quasi judicial or public servants, right? So, a little bit different, one is, people, one is community, municipalities. So slightly different, but, they do touch upon similar topics, of course, right? So, that and the Michigan Municipal League, that was established during the Great Depression, all the states have something of that, or, so there's entities out there that are focused on, public, professional development or interest of communities or whatever it may be. So, but they do, overlap to some degree, right?
Anyone else? All right, Corey is not here. We'll move on to Tracy. Any ZBA?
I've not had a meeting again.
All right. Ida, any zoning?
It's understandable.
Does that sound good for you, Dennis? February, you'll have your subcommittee picked out?
We should have something back in February, don't you think, Alan?
Yeah, we can start working on it. I mean, like I said, just so everyone knows, is nothing's official till it comes to the PC. It's just a workshop.
Yeah.
You're not voting. It's not anything there.
Right.
Everything comes back to the planning commission for an official vote. Then therefore, if it does or doesn't go anywhere, then it goes to the township board. And then obviously, as you may know or not know, the township board can create their own zoning ordinance amendments too. They don't have to sit around for the quasi judicial group. The elected officials have that power, so they can take it upon themselves if they want. So I think it's best to include leadership and other folks who are interested. Who like I said, I'm not picking anybody here, but you might say, look, I'm confident Dennis will figure it out. I don't have to. I'll hear it at the end. But some of us want to get in the nitty gritty because to get it done. So we'll just do that. So nothing, nothing's official till it's done. We just meet, we'll let people know, and then we'll work on it.
Fortunately, we have a board member that is a retired DTE executive, and I have tapped him several times, and I will continue to do that. As a matter of fact, I got this thing here that goes to farmers in the area. So there's a lot of information in here on PA 116 and that effect. And but we know there's farmers in the area that have been contacted. So yeah. So the board is engaged.
I kicked off a master plan yesterday in one of your northern Lapeer counties communities, And I mean, the whole middle of that township has already been signed up. The very middle of that box of that township is signed up.
For
Oh.
a solar energy farm? Well, if
DTE.
enough of them get built, they'll meet the requirements and they'll leave Almont alone.
Really?
I think they lost a lot of public favors, or folks were, when they said, hey, we're going to take prime forest and parkland and turn it into solar. I mean, it's just self-defeating. I mean, that to me was
400 acres of
I
state
mean,
land.
just cutting your nose off to spite your face, or missing the forest from the trees, if you will. No pun intended. I mean, even people I know who are pro solar, like WTF. I mean, I'm not.
There's
afraid to share, but-
there's plenty of space that
Yeah,
you could
there's
take
plenty
a-
of flat land somewhere else that
Yeah,
no one's going to hear it, know about it, and it, be taken care of. I just, that one to me, I think, yeah. So I'm off my soapbox.
All right, on to Planning Commission general comments. Any comments from planning commissioners?
Your plan's done and we can start cleaning up some ordinances.
Agree, yes.
Do you want to start in February? Start with our earmark things?
Talk about that with the supervisor. Yeah, I love the energy there in the middle of winter. There's a whole thing that goes into that. It's,
So is that something you want on your agenda or?
Maybe in March. Yeah. Yeah.
I've already marked up several.
Okay, thank you.
Well, is that something that we would look at as a subcommittee?
no, I would. Well, you can. You definitely can. But
Okay.
I think what the new elected official, appointed people on this, and the township supervisor, I want to have that discussion, and we can see if there's an appetite or what direction. It'll take a little time, but.
You're talking zoning ordinance, or you're talking all of the?
Zoning ordinance. There's things that are archaic. And we're finding out some things don't work.
a general tune-up.
And you read something in one section and then you read something in another section and they don't be honest.
And there was something in the master plan I thought I caught about changing something in the zoning ordinance to match, so.
Yeah, so part of the discussion I've had with every client community is like, look, you want to update your master plan, you want to look at every 5 years, state requirements. And so you've done that. And the master plan is the vision document for the community. And now we know from, the courts, the state Supreme Court of saying, gave master plans even more weight, in the sense that, you can't have a zoning ordinance without a plan. And so the best recommendation is to update your zoning ordinance following your vision document. So this would be the time to work on that, and make the necessary things as stewards of the community to update your zoning ordinance to reflect new needs, right? I mean, like I said, who knew solar or battery or whatever is going to be a thing, or EV charging, or all the other things that are going on. So.
Well, we still have the batteries hanging out there. Alex has put together a draft.
Yeah, we can talk about part of the subcommittee stuff.
Okay.
We definitely will talk about that. We have to.
All right. Okay.
So
So both of those topics,
Solar, wind, and battery are all in
Yeah,
one
solar one.
all three, yeah.
One-
Solar.
ordinance.
Any other comments?
No adjourn.
Support.
or
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
I-
Aye.